James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James.
All right, that's enough, kid. On today's NBA Rundown, we are going to talk about the greatness of one LeBron James. Who says LeBron James is too old to play in the association? That is the topic on the NBA Rundown today. We will also get a little bit into the Los Angeles Lakers makeup as the team through 11 games, I just added this all together, is now 7-4. And I have to say they are one of the top 5 surprises in the association at this point. I mean, clearly the Golden State Warriors really one of the biggest surprises to date. They also have an old man on their basketball team, not nearly as old as LeBron is, though I don't think Steph Curry spends nearly as much money as LeBron actually allegedly spends on his fitness and health. Now, the Cleveland Cavaliers are certainly a surprise as well. When you think about LeBron James and what he's actually done at the start of this season, you have to be very impressed. I just really wonder, during those road trip games with JJ Redick, did him and LeBron James sit down and have a glass of cab and talk hoops in the hotel bar? That is what all of America is actually wondering at this point. But in all seriousness, LeBron James gonna be 40 here shortly and has been playing absolutely fantastic to this point. In the game against Memphis, he actually scored 35 points in that particular game. He was absolutely phenomenal. We're running some of the highlights from that game. We're also going to run some of LeBron James's highlights from his career, some of the top plays that LeBron James has made throughout his career. We've got that for you tonight as well. What I can say about LeBron James at this point is 35 points, 14 assists, and 12 rebounds. Not bad for a guy who's about to turn 40. Now, will the Los Angeles Lakers actually have enough firepower to actually make the playoffs without actually having to play in the actual play-in? That is one of the big questions, because we do know that the Western Conference is certainly very competitive. I would also like to point out that the Memphis Grizzlies, who they ended up beating 128-123 on Wednesday night, were without the services of several key players, including Ja Morant. So maybe there would have been a different outcome. I always say this, you never know how a team's really going to do at the end of the day, as you all know, because of injuries. But what LeBron James has proved throughout his career, outside of just being unbelievably clutch, he's basically been the Cal Ripken Jr. of the National Basketball Association. He's been the Iron Man. Now, the rumors have been for years that LeBron James has never actually gone under the knife. He's never actually had surgery. And whether or not that's true or not, and yes, he's had injuries, and yes, he's had to sit out for numerous games throughout his career, but who hasn't? When you think about this particular Los Angeles Lakers team as it's currently constructed, how many of these games do you really want to have LeBron James having to put up a triple-double to actually secure a win against a team that, quite frankly, was pretty depleted at this point in the Memphis Grizzlies because of their injuries? So clearly, at this point, Rob Pelinka and the rest of the Los Angeles Lakers front office are probably trying to figure out exactly what should they do. They've got 2 first-round draft picks, which they certainly could use if they decided to actually take a shot at a deep run this year. What I hate to see the Los Angeles Lakers do is squander another year of LeBron James's career. Now, look, I don't expect this Los Angeles Lakers team to actually win a trophy this year, but let's just face it, the D'Angelo Russell Part 2 experiment, as predicted, is not working out. So certainly I would expect D'Angelo Russell and maybe a couple other pieces to ultimately be moved at some point. Look, in that Memphis game, one thing became very clear to me, and that is they did not do a good job understanding what they currently had on their roster. Remember, the Los Angeles Lakers actually had Scottie Pippen Jr. on their roster for quite some time. Scottie Pippen Jr., I'm not saying is an all-star. What I am saying is that if they had actually scouted Scottie Pippen Jr. correctly, they would have realized what they really had was a nice point guard who can come off the bench. If you need him to start, he could absolutely start as well, and he's going to give you anywhere between 12 and 20 points a night, which at this point is more than what D'Angelo Russell is giving you for a quarter of the price. Remember, D'Lo's contract is over $18 million a year this year. Look, it's not that I don't like D'Lo. It's not that I don't think D'Lo is a good addition to this Los Angeles Lakers team. It's just that D'Lo might not be the right piece to this Los Angeles Lakers team. Clearly, the Los Angeles Lakers do need to get Anthony Davis some additional help at this point. So I would not be terribly surprised to see the Los Angeles Lakers actually make a move. Now, as I said, we're running some of LeBron James's greatest plays throughout his career tonight on the NBA Rundown, sort of an homage to the greatness that is LeBron James. It's not like I have a LeBron James poster hanging in my garage. I don't. But what I do appreciate is great basketball and greatness on the court. You know, we did a video a couple days ago about Steph Curry. We did a video about the Joker day before that. And both of those players in their own way are actually just absolutely great to watch. Now, what do the Lakers do? That is the question. I would love to know what your thoughts and opinions are. Please go ahead and drop in your comments. I want to hear from you wherever you may be, North America. Now, the Los Angeles Lakers have a great young rookie that needs playing time. And I think what you'll see JJ Redick do when he's sitting down with LeBron in a hotel bar having a glass of cab, a very expensive glass of cab, I might add, they will be discussing how they can continue to bring the rookie along, because Dalton Connect is the real deal. But like a lot of other players, especially young players in the association, those players need to grow into playing time. And what the Lakers need to do over the next couple months is get to a point where Dalton Connect is playing at least 25 minutes a game and is scoring around 14 to 18 points a game. If they're able to do that, then they certainly will be able to move off of D'Angelo Russell and bring in, if you will, some Dallas Mavericks big people. Like if you remember the Dallas Mavericks moves at the trading deadline last year when they went out and got Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington, those are the types of pieces that this Los Angeles Lakers team needs to actually thrive and maybe go deep in the Western Conference playoffs. A final note for you all, I guess, tonight about LeBron James. Look, LeBron James isn't going to be able to keep this up. I mean, if you look at his last 5 games, it was 35 points, it was 19 points, it was 21 points. He had that game back on October 28th against the Phoenix Suns early in the season, where he scored 32 in the game before and scored just 11 in that one. And in that one, LeBron James did look like Mr. Old. But what we've seen as the season has begun to progress is that LeBron James will take some nights off. LeBron James will score some nights where it's around 19 to 20 points a night, and he'll put the Lakers on his back, which is the amazing thing. Whether or not you're like me and were a huge Michael Jordan fan and found it hard to ever admit that there'd be anybody greater than Michael Jordan to ever play in the association, you absolutely have to give LeBron James the credit that he deserves, not just from a longevity standpoint, but from a way that he actually continues to play at such a high level. And we haven't talked about this at all, but 45.9% from the three-point arc is LeBron James. We've had that header running, if you're catching this on YouTube, for this entire video. And I have to say, I remember when LeBron James wasn't a good three-point shooter. I remember when he got a little bit better, then he seemed to dip, and then he got a little bit better. I remember this throughout LeBron James's career. He's sort of been up and down when it comes to his three-point shooting. Now, for his career, he's actually averaging just under 35% from the three-point arc. During his rookie season, he actually averaged just under 30%. So he's been up and down throughout his career, and last season, he was actually sitting there at 41%. So what we have today is certainly a different type of LeBron James than we had maybe 5 years ago. What we have today is a LeBron James who certainly can still play bully ball when he needs to, but can also shoot the three-pointer at a very high percentage. Now, as much as I think the Los Angeles Lakers need to bring in a couple big people, wouldn't it be great if they could also see a Dalton Connect actually turn into a true sharpshooter that's averaging, close to 20 points a game and is shooting well north of 40% from the three-point arc. All right, that's what I've got for you tonight. As you know, we try to do one of these NBA rundowns every night if we can. Thanks so much for tuning in. Do subscribe to our audio version of this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, and just all those Amazon, Google, all those other platforms. You can find the NBA Rundown. For the NBA Rundown, I'm David DeBaugh, wishing you all a tremendous rest of your sports viewing day.
This is Phoenix.